Once again, welcome to the Dallas Cowboys. Minka trade rumors are back once again. The Dallas Cowboys are the team everyone should watch very closely. This is not just random speculation. According to Nick Harris, the Cowboys were the final stage of the completing the trade for the Miami Dolphins safety Mika Fitzpatrick before the trade deadline. This means the discussion was serious today. The deal was close to happening. However, the plan was abandoned when the trade for New York Jets defensive tackle Quinnen Williams went through instead. That decision changed everything at that time. But now the big question returns: could Cowboys revisit that trade? To understand why this matters, we have to look at current situation of the Dallas Cowboys defense. The Cowboys have talent on the defense, but there has been moments of the inconsistency, especially in the secondary. In today's NFL, the safety position is more important than ever before. Teams are passing the football more frequently. Offensive coordinators are creating mismatches. Tight ends are faster. Wide receivers are more explosive. Because of that, having a versatile and intelligent safety is critical. Minka Fitzpatrick is exactly that type of the player. He is not just a traditional deep safety. He can line up in multiple positions. He can play center field and read the quarterback. He can drop into the slot and cover receivers. He can blitz when needed. He can support the run. His football intelligence and instincts allow him to anticipate plays before they fully develop. When you add a player like that to your defense, you are not just adding a talent, you are adding leadership and experience. For the Cowboys, this could be a win-now type of the move. The team believes it can compete for the championship. When you are in that position, you sometimes choose proven veterans over draft prospect. A trade for Minka Fitzpatrick would immediately upgrade the defense. It would give defense coordinator flexibility. It would take pressure off the quarterbacks. It would allow more creative defensive scheme. And most importantly, it could signal that Dallas is serious about competing at highest level. However, trades are never simple. Acquiring a player of the Minka Fitzpatrick caliber would require valuable assets. That could mean giving up draft picks. It could mean adjusting contracts. It could affect the future roster building. The Cowboys must think carefully about long-term planning versus short-term success. That is always the balance every front office must manage. While the trade discussion continues, Nick Harris also mentioned another name that Cowboys fans should pay attention. Ohio State safety Caleb Downs. He described Caleb Downs as a logical nickel and safety option for the Dallas. That description makes sense. Caleb Downs is viewed as one of the most top defensive backs in upcoming draft. He is young, explosive, and extremely versatile. Caleb Downs fits the modern NFL perfectly. He can play deep safety, he can move into the box, he can cover in the slot. He has strong tackling ability. He shows high football intelligence for his age. Coaches love players who can do multiple things well. That flexibility allows defense to disguise coverage and confuse quarterbacks. For the Cowboys, selecting Caleb Downs with the 20 overall picks would be considered a dream scenario. Many fans would celebrate that choice immediately. It would provide long-term stability at the safety position, and it would give the defense a young building block for years to come. But here is the difficult part. Will Caleb Downs still be available when Dallas is on the clock? Main draft analysts believe he could be selected early. A defensive backs with elite versatility are highly valued. If another team ahead of the Dallas selects him, then the Cowboys must adjust their plan. That creates another tough decision. Should the Dallas trade up on the draft to secure Caleb Downs? Trading up sounds exciting, but it comes with the risks. The Cowboys have multiple roster needs, and they need depth in the several positions. They do not have unlimited numbers of the draft picks. Giving up additional selection to move higher in the draft could weaken other areas of the team, of course. Successful franchise build competitive rosters, not just star power at one position. That is why the decision is complicated. If Dallas decided not to trade up and Caleb Downs is no longer available, there is an alternative option. One name that has been mentioned is Clemson quarterback Ovionno Tolele. Tolele is an intriguing prospect because he can play both outside cornerback and inside in the slot. That type of versatility is extremely valuable in today's NFL. Offenses constantly use motion, bunch formation, and different alignments to create confusion. Defensive backs who can adjust in the play multiple roles give up coordinators more flexibility. Ovionno Tolele has shown that ability to handle different assignments. He is competitive, he is athletic, he is comfortable in man coverage and zone coverage. That makes him a strong option if the Dallas Cowboys want to strengthen their secondary without trading away future assets. When we look at the bigger picture, the Cowboys are clearly focused on upgrading the quarterback and upgrading the defensive backfield, whether through the trade or through the draft. It is obvious that improving coverage and versatility is a priority, and a team understands that to compete against elite quarterbacks, you must have strong defensive backs. The interesting part of this situation is that Dallas has already shown serious interest in Minkah Fitzpatrick before. According to the Nick Harris, they were very close at completing their trade. That means there is a foundation for the future discussions. The relationship between the front office matter. Previous renegotiation can reopen quickly if both sides see value again. At the same time, the draft provides a more affordable and long-term solution. Caleb Downs represents youth and upsides. Ovionno Tolele represents flexibility and development. Minkah Fitzpatrick represents proven production and immediate impact. Each path offers different benefits and different risks. For the Cowboys front office, this decision will reveal their strategy. Are they full committed to championship push right now? Or are they balancing competitiveness with the streetability glove? Fans will analyze every move. Media discussions will continue. Trade rumors will grow louder as the offseason progresses. One thing is certain. The safety position in Dallas is under a spotlight. And the Cowboys know that championships are often decided by small margin. A single interception, a key pass breakup, of course. At the time tackle, players like Minkah Fitzpatrick and Caleb Downs can make those game-changing plays. As the draft approach and trade discussion continue, Cowboys fans should prepare for the active and strategic offseason, whether it is revisiting the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade, or selecting Caleb Downs at pick number 12, or targeting Ovionno Tolele as a versatile defensive back. Dallas appears to determine to improve their secondary. Rumors are real, the interest has history, the needs is clear. Now, it is simply a matter of which direction Dallas Cowboys choose. Crosby is already being described as one of the most controversial proposals of the season. Many supporters believe this move would completely change the identity of the team, while others think it could create serious problems for the offense. Recently, Cowboys have seen making roster changes as they try to rebuild and strengthen their defense. One of the biggest issues for the team has been the lack of an elite pass rusher after previous defensive changes. Without a dominant defensive end who can pressure the quarterback consistently, the defense has struggled to perform at higher level. This weakness has pushed the organization to explore different trade possibilities in order to fix the problem before the next season begins. Because of these defensive needs, rumors continue to connect the Cowboys with the Las Vegas Raiders star pass rusher Max Crosby. He is known across the NFL league for his relentless energy, strong leadership, and ability to disrupt the offensive player. Many analysts believe he is exactly the type of the defensive player that could instantly improve the Cowboys' defense and bring back more aggressive playing style. However, the biggest shock comes from the proposed trade package. According to the suggestion, the Cowboys would spend and send the first-round pick along with George Pickens to the Raiders. In return, Dallas would receive Max Crosby and a second-round draft pick. On paper, this looks like a deal that could help the defense immediately, but emotionally, it is a move that could upset the large portion of the fan base. George Pickens had a breakout impact in the Cowboys' offense, especially during the previous season. He quickly became one of the most explosive and reliable targets in the passing game. His ability to stretch the field, make difficult catches, and create big plays gave the offense a new level of excitement and unpredictability. Losing a player like that would not be an easy decision for any team, especially one of that is already trying to maintain offensive balance. Another important factor in this discussion is the financial situation of the team. The Cowboys are already paying top wide receiver CeeDee Lamb a very large salary. Because of this, some analysts believe the team may hesitate to offer another long-term high-value contract to George Pickens. Managing salary cap space is one of the most difficult challenges in the NFL, and teams must always plan for the future, not only the present. From the strategic point of view, supporters of the trade argue that elite pass rushers are extremely valuable in NFL. Strong defensive line can change the outcome of games, pressure opposing quarterbacks, and support the entire defensive units. If Max Crosby joins the Cowboys, he could immediately fill the role of defensive leader and become the face of the defense. On the other hand, critics strongly oppose the idea. They believe that trading a young and rising offensive star like George Pickens could weaken the offense significantly. Modern football relies heavily on explosive wide receivers, and removing one of the top playmakers could reduce scoring efficiency and offensive creativity. Fans who watched Pickens growing within the system feel emotionally connected to his development and the potential for the future success. Another layer of the debate focuses on the team chemistry. When a player becomes a key contributor in a short period of time, he also builds strong connection with the teammates and coaches, of course. George Pickens has already shown strong chemistry with the quarterback and the other offensive players. Of course, removing him from the roster could disrupt the rhythm of the offense and require time for the adjustments. There is also a perspective of the Raiders in this situation. For the Las Vegas, acquiring a talented young wide receiver could be the long-term investment. Pickens could become a central offensive weapon for the future plans. However, they would also need to commit to the long-term contract, which adds financial pressure and risk. Every trade in a professional sports is not only about talent, but also about long-term planning and financial responsibility. Another important discussion revolves around the fan reaction. Is Cowboys fans are known to be extremely passionate and loyal. Many supporters want the team to breed around young offensive talent rather than trade it away. If the organization decided to move Pickens, the reaction on social media and Sport Talk's platform could be intense, of course, and emotional for many fans of the Dallas Cowboys. At the same time, some analysts believe the trade could be calculated compromise. If the Cowboys are unsure about giving Pickens a long-term contract and he is unwilling to pay under short-term deals, the team might prefer to gain proven defensive superstar instead of risking future contract disrupts. This type of decision often happens in the professional sports when financial strategies and player expectations do not fully align. Looking deeper into the performance impact, Max Crosby brings consistency, durability, and allied defensive pressure. His presence alone can force opposing offenses to change their game plans. Offensive line must focus more attention on blocking him, while it creates opportunity for other defensive players to succeed. This leap effect can transform an entire offensive and defensive over or the course of the season. Meanwhile, George Pickens represents youth, speed, and offensive explosiveness. He has the potential to become one of the top wide receivers in the league if his development continues at the same pace. Trading such player always carries the risk of regrets if it reaches to the super status with another team. In the end, this proposed trade highlights the difficult choice that team like Dallas Cowboys must make every off-season. Should they prioritize defensive dominance or offensive firepower? Should they invest in the proven veterans or continue to breed around young stars? These questions do not have a simple answer. Yes, of course. And every decision can shape the future of the franchise for many years. As the trade rumors continue to circulate, one thing is clear. Any deal involving George Pickens and Max Crosby would not be quiet move. It would be a blockbuster decision that sparks debate across the entire football world. Whether the Cowboys choose to pursue this trade or not